Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to another episode of Soul Inspiration by Anadel Center. Today we have our very own Dr. Justin Thompson, Interventional Pain Specialist here in the DFW Metroplex. Dr. Thompson, we want to say thank you for letting us come into your beautiful office today. How you doing today?
I'm great. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks
Absolutely.
for having me on your show. I just feel privileged to be someone you'd want to come interview. So
Absolutely. Yeah. We're family, man. We go way back.
Absolutely.
A lot of people that don't know, we used to work together in the same practice many years ago, and we've been brothers and friends, and just doing life together. But today we want to kind of talk about your journey. You're a successful physician. First and foremost, what is a pain specialist? How do you become a pain specialist?
So pain specialist is a doctor who targets treating different pain conditions in the body. So we just ask you what hurts, and we try to get rid of that.
Right.
Simply put, so we can maybe deal with back pain, neck pain, joint pain. So any kind of pain in the body, we try to figure out what's causing it, and then to the best of our ability, we try to go treat it. Absolutely.
So for a young cat in South Dallas or Frisco or Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, who wants to be a pain specialist, how much schooling is there? What's the track? How do you become a physician just like you are?
So pain, it's definitely a subspecialty. So with that means you have to go to med school for the normal 4 years.
Yep.
After that, you can go into residency. This is where it gets pretty cool. There's different residencies that can go into it. So in my training, we had 4 fellows. And so we had one that was family medicine, one that was physical medicine rehab, one that was psychiatry.
Oh, wow.
And those are kind of like the not common fields. The most common is actually anesthesiology.
Makes sense.
Which none of us were. So it's really cool because a lot of people are getting into pain. There's not really one specialty that owns it. So
right.
I did physical medicine and rehabilitation as my primary specialty, and then did that for 3 years. And then I did a 1 year of internal medicine prior to that. And then I did a 1 year of pain management. So 5 years after the 4 years of medical school. So 9 years in total.
How'd you end up in Dallas? How'd you end up down here?
So I'm born and raised in Dallas.
Okay, so this is home.
This is home.
Okay.
So, I love Dallas.
Yep.
I trained at UT Southwestern for med school.
Yep.
I trained at Baylor across town. Little change of scenery, but keep
I
the
hear
same
you.
city.
You're still in town though, right?
Still in town, yeah. So I really enjoy being in the Dallas area.
Yep.
My family is mainly here in Dallas.
That helps.
And I'm appreciative to be close to family. And I just love the city. It's given me so much. So it's nice to really give something back.
Absolutely, man. I know you're married. Is your wife from Dallas too?
My wife is actually from New York.
Okay. So how'd you get her down here, man? I mean, New York, that's a big city. So
big city. I told her, I said, Dallas had everything I needed, except for a wife. And so,
true that.
With all respect to the Dallas sites, I had to bring her in.
Amen to that.
So I'm grateful for her. She's the best thing in my life besides God, and definitely thankful to have her.
Absolutely.
We met actually here in Dallas, so it's kind of come our city as well.
Makes sense.
We met at a coffee shop not too far from here, over in Addison. So I was living there at the time. I used to, before I had an office, I do all my business meetings there.
Right.
So we met at a coffee shop. She was there just hanging out. And,
Beautiful.
Shot my shot, and the rest is history.
Rest is history, man. So, ladies, sorry, he's taking, man. So
yes, absolutely.
All good. He off the market. bling on that figure. I like it. All right, very good, man. So we're gonna talk about your spiritual journey for sure. We're gonna talk about your success stories, but being a foot and ankle guy, I'm always looking down. I know you look up at the spine. I kind of look down at people's feet and their gait and their walk. And we kind of tie it into shoes and stuff like that. So, first things first. What are the newest pair of shoes you have, and kind of talk to me about that and what you got and why you got it.
Absolutely. So I'm on my feet a lot. So I definitely appreciate this. A couple months ago, I started having some foot pain. Wouldn't go away. Back pain.
You ain't call me though, man. What's up?
No, I was worried there was something surgical.
Right. You don't want to get cut on.
I didn't want to get cut on. So I said, let me go for the simple fix first, which is just to change my shoes.
Makes sense.
I'd been wearing the same shoes for probably too long. So
let's see that. Pull that up, man. Let's see that.
I got these Vehas. So I want to show these off here.
Yes.
So these Vehas are really cool.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my foot and back pain have gone away since I changed shoes.
I hear you.
I definitely had them for too long. My old ones, you'll get to see those here in a little bit.
Yes, sir.
So these guys, I really like their mission because for every pair of shoes that's bought, they plant a tree. Wow. So I love that because I feel like the environment is something really important to me.
Absolutely.
And so these shoes, they're very comfortable, but also they have like a very positive mission.
Right.
They're worried about the environment, they're worried about the future, and so I feel like it's, in a way, we're giving back, to our planet, to our future.
Absolutely.
They're super comfortable. I like the orange sole on the inside too. It gives a little bit of a pop.
Look at all this free love Vehas are getting, man. Y'all better call this dude and give him nice little endorsement here, but I like it.
I love these Vejas. So
beautiful.
These are my everyday shoes.
Okay.
These are one other pair of shoes you'll get to see a little bit later. So
absolutely.
Definitely love them.
So very comfortable.
Very comfortable.
How about, the oldest pair of shoes you got in your closet, man?
All right.
So show me what you got.
So these are the oldest pair of shoes. I'm almost embarrassed to show them because
no, don't be embarrassed, man.
They've been through. So I love my Stan Smiths from Adidas.
Oh, wow.
They're fun.
These are retros, man.
Some
of these young cats don't know anything about this.
So these are great. The thing with these, I was wearing these all day. They didn't have the support though as the Vejas.
Of course, that's what as a foot and ankle guy, I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
They're stylish, but definitely no support.
This is my going out on the weekend maybe shoes now.
But you're not wearing this all day in the office.
I was trying to for a while, and that's where my foot.
That's where the foot pain came from.
So that's why I was almost about to have to call you.
Absolutely.
I wore these every day, all day, and then I started getting the pain under my feet, the metatarsal and the back pain. It was just a problem. So I love you guys, but you're not an everyday shoe.
Not an everyday shoe. Definitely not. Definitely not. How about, shoes that your wife got you recently? Any shoes that your wife, picked out for you?
Yeah.
First off, did she get it right? I mean, did she get your style right?
She got it right. So,
so she's a keeper there. Let's see what you got.
She's definitely a keeper. So growing up, I always had, Nikes, but my parents kind of gave me a cap of like $80, $100.
True that.
Get any of the really cool shoes.
Makes sense.
I told my wife that. So she got me these J's.
Okay. Which ones are these, man?
Absolutely love these. So man, these J's here, I mean, they are just absolutely cool. I thought about the Chicago 7s, but these are almost like the duck type versions, kind of black and white. I'm trying to remember the names exactly. You caught me on that one, but it's okay.
I don't know too much about Jordans, man. I could never afford Jordans. I'm not a pay guy like you.
I could never afford them, and then I even refused to buy them for myself.
Okay.
She said basically that I had worked hard enough that I deserved these Jordans.
Absolutely.
I hardly ever wear them, just because I feel like I don't want to mess them up.
Yes, sir.
So you'll probably never see me in the office rocking them. I think my staff might have seen me once when I came in on the weekend with them. But
wow.
She brought these for me. These are my babies, so I wear them everywhere.
Beautiful. Shout out to the wifey, man.
She did great.
She got it real good.
She did it right for me.
Absolutely. How about any shoes with like sentimental value, something you might not want to get rid of?
Absolutely. So these are my sentimentals here.
All right. So tell us the story behind it. You're a Texas boy. I can tell.
I'm a Texas boy. So I have to admit, I lived in Texas pretty much most of my life, except for leaving a couple times for training.
Yep.
And these boots, I never owned a pair of boots until these, really.
Really?
So
how long you had these?
I've had these for about 3-4 years now.
Okay.
So we were at Tecovas, and if you haven't been to Tecovas, it's an experience, really. You go there, they've got live music sometimes. They have alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages they will serve you. It's a real relaxed experience. You can even go there and get your boots shined. These guys could probably use a trip there soon. But they're just so comfortable. They're like the most comfortable boots I've ever had.
Wow.
I did wear a pair once for a wedding, but it wasn't my thing. But this is the first pair I really owned, and these were my boots. And so being a Texan, it just felt right to have
no doubt
a pair of boots. So I felt like I got them pretty shortly after I started my own practice here.
Yes, sir.
I've been back a few years, but now I feel like I'm truly home because I'm grounded in my practice.
Yep.
And I got these boots, and when I wear them, it reminds me like I'm really back in Texas for good this time.
That's good, man. Are they comfortable? They kind of have a narrow toe box.
Yeah, they're comfortable. They're more comfortable than they look, So they have a narrow toe box for sure, but I have more of a narrow foot, so it kind of works for me.
That helps. That helps.
So, and they're ostrich. They stretched out a little bit too. So
that makes sense.
Boots used to take some time to get them to stretch out, but
you got to break them in, no doubt.
But these are my most sentimentals. They remind me where I'm from.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, you make a good point, man. I always tell people they need to know what their foot type is. You can't just buy shoes just for buying shoes' sake, right? Yeah. You have a narrow foot, so this would make sense for you. But if you got a wide foot, definitely don't want to be rocking these all day, right?
Definitely not it. So
absolutely.
I'm fortunate for that. So
all right. And so we have one more pair of shoes you want to show us, man. Why don't you bring that up and tell us a little bit about these shoes?
Yeah.
And then are these kind of like an everyday kind of shoe?
These are my everyday shoes. Yep. Here, these are my On Clouds.
Yep.
So again, I got to give my wife a little credit here too.
Man.
She told me about these as well. So these these and the Vejas I showed you earlier, kind of my everyday shoes.
Absolutely.
I love them because they are so comfortable. They say on cloud, you really do feel like you're on a cloud when you're wearing them.
Yes.
I didn't want to get them at first because they were kind of pricier, but they are great. They're really comfortable.
Awesome.
I can't say enough. Seen a lot of guys in the healthcare field wearing these, and they're just awesome. So these are my everydays now.
Great. So now to help us kind of segue into, you've talked a lot about owning your own practice and starting your own practice. I'm sure it didn't start out that way. How did you get to that level, and how has your faith kind of helped you through that journey?
Absolutely. So I'm fortunate enough to be in my own practice now. I feel like part part of my journey we shared. We were in a practice together.
Yes, sir.
That unfortunately didn't work out, and we've gone into different places since then. I had one other stop in between. That was a good stop. I was thankful for that. But even though it was a better situation, aside from not being able to work with you anymore.
Right, it's all good, boss. God has a plan for everything.
God has a plan,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Aside from that part, the other situation was a good situation, but I just was never fully satisfied. And I just had this hunger inside of me, I think, to be more entrepreneurial and also to have more control over the practice that I was going to have. So, I just kept having that feeling. It wouldn't go away. And I felt like God was telling me that this is what I needed to do.
Yep.
And I was scared, but I felt like a lot of people I came into contact with were kind of, speaking on his behalf and telling me, go for it, do this. And so, since I've left, I feel like it's been the best decision that I've ever made.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And so, I'm not looking back, and there's no regrets about that.
That's awesome, man. I heard you talk about, God, kind of put it on your heart to do this. A lot of people ask, how do you know that voice is really God's voice? And I feel like, he opens certain doors and he can use certain people to kind of, confirm what it is you're hearing. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you heard from different people, and that kind of led you in that path to, open up your own practice. What would you say about that?
I definitely heard from other people. I felt like, one of the things that was holding me back was fear. And, and you look at the Bible and it says, fear not, like 365 times, right? So
many times.
So I knew like the fear holding me back was not coming from God.
That's right.
So I knew that the desire inside of me, the opposite, was most likely coming from him, right? And then it was affirmed by the people that I ran into, who also kind of said that I could do it. They were positive.
Yes, sir.
I felt like everybody in my circle, my wife, my parents, my friends, were all very positive, very supportive in that. And I just felt like, again, the only thing really holding me back was fear. I started to have more dreams kind of about where I was at. They weren't positive. And so that I felt also was kind of like confirmation.
Yes,
and then I just started to not be unhappy, and so I felt like sometimes when things are just not great, God is kind of nudging you towards the door.
Hello, right?
Being a little bit not listening. So he's kind of like being difficult or a little obstinate there. And so I think that, after I've left, I don't want to go into all the details, but enough has happened, looking back where I was at and enough looking at where I'm at to confirm that this has definitely been the right
Definitely
decision.
a God thing, right?
I know God was leading me in the right direction the whole
That's
time.
beautiful, man. And that's a testimony we want to kind of share. I'm glad you talked about fear. For a lot of people who are looking to make change, the biggest obstacle is always fear. And I'm glad you said fear is definitely not of God, right? Fear is a spirit. The Bible talks about a spirit of fear. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of kind of love, joy, of a sound mind, right? For you, being a business owner, especially in medicine, a lot of people think, we just we treat patients and kind of clock out and go home. That work kind of follows you, right? Being a business owner. What are some of the challenges you've had to deal with, and how has your faith helped you through those challenges, particularly in medicine?
So, faith is a big part of this. When you start your own business, it's like jumping off the side of a building.
Yes, blindfolded, yes.
And you don't know if that parachute's going to open. And
Hello,
so,
yes.
We had a lot of challenges at the beginning, and, I remember a real low point, probably about 6 months in, and we had some issues with getting set up with credentialing, and that meant we weren't getting paid the way we were supposed to, and meanwhile, your bills are kind of coming.
Overhead is constant, right? It doesn't change, right?
Yeah. So I was at home, and I remember it was February of 2021. I've been open about 6 months.
Wow. So you opened up right in the middle of COVID?
In the middle of COVID. So we've been in the middle of the storm.
Yes.
And we had a snowstorm here in Dallas, which is really not common. So we were snowed in for a week. It canceled a day of really a lot of cases for me.
Right.
And so I felt like, whoa, this is so bad. And this is not good.
Right.
And, what are we doing? And, I could look at our finances. I could see the end, from just like human eyes. And that same week, we had been trying to get our Medicare payments to come in because we had not gotten a dime from Medicare for 6 months. And that huge payment just hit our bank account.
Look at that.
Look at God, right?
Look at God.
Right? So that was like, man, I can't imagine like the idea of like being stranded out in the ocean, getting a life raft.
Right.
That was that life raft that just
literally a life raft.
Up. So we survived that, and we've had other ups and downs, but that definitely was a confirmation that, hey, we were supposed to be here.
Absolutely.
I think if we weren't supposed to be here, that wouldn't have happened, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking today.
Yes, yeah, that's an example of God turning a test into a testimony, and turning a trial into a triumph, and you're a living testimony for that, man. For a young person, watching this video today, saying, hey, when I grow up, I want to be just like him. I want to go to medical school, or I want to go to dental school, or I want to do something with my life and give back someday. What is some advice you can give them, that they can start putting into practice now to kind of help them through the future?
Well, I think, my past experiences helped prepare me for that. I haven't had a straight road in the sense that, yes, I did go straight through school and med school, but there's been obstacles all throughout the way. You know, I didn't do the best in med school, you know, but I still got the fellowship that I wanted. I got the residency that I wanted.
Absolutely.
You know, and even though you have like a past and things that, you know, I didn't do the greatest on USMLE, so that'll follow you. Any doctor will tell you that.
It is what it is.
Every time, you know, it's like you're submitting your resume and there's this black mark that you just can't hide. You know, it's there.
But look at where you are today, man.
Look where I'm at now. So, you know, and so I've had those trials kind of throughout. You know, I think college going into med school going into residency, and even residency into fellowship, where I felt like I didn't have the credentials, you know, and so, you know, you don't necessarily have to be qualified. God will qualify you. So that's really what it comes down to. So I think that trust that even when you don't have everything that you quote unquote need, you know, from a human credentialing standpoint, that He's going to give you what you need when you need it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it.
That's so good, man. God qualifies you. It's not about what people say you are. It's about what God says you are. And look at how your perseverance and your trust in God has kind of brought you to this situation. It's definitely a blessing.
Absolutely.
Lastly, we're going to talk a little bit about, you know, I'm a strong believer that God puts us here to not be on an island by ourselves. There's a community of fellowship, there's a community of believers. And I believe a lot in mentorship. Who are some of the most important people that have been good partners of yours, good mentors of yours, and how have they helped you?
Absolutely. I've been fortunate to have a lot of mentors throughout my life. You know, I think that they've taken different forms. You know, one that stands out was one of the guys I work with in my fellowship, you know, and he really challenged me to be my best, you know, and I felt like coming out of residency, I felt pretty good about what I could do, but he really challenged me to take those next steps and to be, you know, the best version of me. And I felt like that was really, you know, important. And so we still will talk to this day when I have a difficult case, I'll run it by him. So definitely, you know, grateful to have that person.
Absolutely.
You know, I've had people here in Dallas, some of them I'm still friends with, who have also taught me, you know, different things about how to run a business, how to do injections. And so I feel like mentorship has been something that I've been privileged to have kind of throughout.
Absolutely.
You know, even just having conversations with other business owners like yourself is helpful. You know, so I see that also as a form of mentorship.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, there's different problems that will pop up, different shared experiences. You know, and it's nice, especially to talk to someone like you who has faith as well, because you can kind of relate to those same issues. So I think I've definitely had older mentors, but I also have peer mentors like yourself, who I think have helped me get to where I am.
Absolutely. That's great, man. We just want to say a big thank you for letting us into your practice today.
Absolutely.
Letting us into your personal space. We appreciate you, you know, kind of showing us some kicks that you got out here. You're definitely a true Texas guy, man. So we want to say God bless. We appreciate you. And please let us know for patients who want to reach out to you, how can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely, yes. So our practice is Foundation Pain and Spine. You can find us on the web, so you can Google us. Our website is www.foundationpainspine.com. Also easy to call us, 469-214-5735.
Awesome.
And you can reach out to us. We also have a social media presence as well. You can find us. Please reach out if you have any questions. I'm always happy to reach out. I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Beautiful. We want to say thank you to Dr. Justin Thompson again, and we want to say God bless to our family. Leave us any comments, and we'll see you.